Just take a moment and look at this. This isn't just any picture of a tiger. This is the result of decades of hard work and dedication. And to really get what this success means, we have to start at the very beginning. Not here in the jungle, but miles away and thousands of feet higher, at the source of the river that makes all of this possible.
So in this explainer, we're going to take a journey together. We're going to follow a river all the way from its source, high up in the Himalayas, down to the plains, where it breathes life into one of India's most incredible biodiversity hotspots, Nameri National Park. We'll see how its journey shapes, well, everything. For any guide or visitor, this isn't just some geography lesson. This is the story you're about to become a part of, and it's the key to really truly understanding Nameri. You know, every great story has an origin, and ours starts way up in the clouds, practically at the roof of the world. We're heading to the Eastern Himalayas, where a powerful force of nature is born from nothing but ice and snow. Okay, let's meet the main character of our story, the Kameng River. Now here's a really important tip for anyone visiting the area. This river kind of has a dual identity. Up in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, everyone calls it the Kameng. But as soon as it flows down into Assam, where Nameri is, it gets a new name, the Jia Bhoreli. You gotta remember that. It's the same river, but depending on where you are, guides and maps will use different names. Knowing both is a total game changer. Think about that number for a second. 6,300 meters. That's over 20,000 feet. The Kameng starts its life in a glacial lake just below the Gorichen Mountain, right on the India-Tibet border. It begins as pure, freezing meltwater in a world of rock and ice.
And from that unbelievable height, it travels for 264 kilometers. And over that distance, it completely transforms. It goes from being this raging mountain torrent to a wide, gentle river, carving its path and shaping every single inch of the land it touches.
As the Kameng makes its way down, it's not just carrying water, it's building entire worlds. It becomes this incredible sculptor, creating a vital corridor for wildlife. And in some places, it acts as a perfect natural fence.
And this is just a perfect example of its power. The river acts as a natural boundary. On its west bank, you've got the Sessa Orchid Sanctuary, a paradise for rare flowers. And on its east bank, the Pake Tiger Reserve. It's amazing, one river creating and separating two totally distinct protected worlds right next to each other.
All right, so we followed the river south, and now we arrive at its greatest creation, Nameri National Park. This is where the river, now called the Jia Bhoreli, becomes the absolute lifeline for an absolute explosion of plants and animals. This is it, the Jia Bhoreli, basically the park's circulatory system. Every single incredible creature you can find here exists because of this water. So just how rich is this place? Well, let's take a look at the numbers.
Let's start with the A-listers. Nameri is just a kingdom of predators and prey. You don't just have one kind of big cat, you have Bengal tigers, Indian leopards, and the super elusive clouded leopard. You've got wild dogs, massive Indian bison, and whole herds of wild elephants. It is a staggering collection of Asia's most iconic animals all in one place.
And it's not just about the animals. The park is a botanist's dream. It's home to over 600 species of plants, and that includes some incredibly rare and beautiful orchids.
For all you bird watchers out there, listen up. The park is an absolute paradise, with 374 recorded bird species. We're talking everything from giants like the great pied hornbill to rare finds like the ibisbill. Nameri is truly a world-class destination for anyone who loves birds. But of all the amazing residents here, one really reigns supreme: the tiger. And to understand why Nameri is so important, we need to zoom out a little bit and look at India's incredible nationwide effort to save its national animal.
This timeline really shows a deep, long-term commitment. It all kicked off with the famous Project Tiger way back in 1973. Nameri officially joined the mission in 2000, but the real game changer is what started in 2006, these rigorous evaluations. This was a critical shift. It's not just about protecting land anymore. It's about proving, with data, that the management is actually working.
Now look at this map. Nameri isn't just an island. It's a critical link in this huge chain of 53 tiger reserves, all spread across 18 different states. This entire network is the backbone of tiger conservation in the world. It is a strategic effort on a massive scale.
And you can literally see the commitment growing over time right here in the data.
Back in 2006, they evaluated 28 reserves. By 2022, that number had jumped to 51. The crucial thing to see here is that this is a system that's designed to learn, to improve, and to hold itself accountable. And this is the payoff. All those reports, all that data, all those meetings, it all leads to this. A healthy, thriving tiger, safe and sound in its home. This is exactly what success looks like. But of course, the work is never really done.
Protecting a place as wild and as vital as Nameri is a constant balancing act. Success doesn't mean there are no problems. It means you're actively managing them day in and day out.
These are the realities on the ground. I mean, when you have a thriving elephant population, yeah, sometimes they're going to raid crops. Local communities need their cattle, which can put pressure on the park's resources. And illegal logging just outside the park is a constant threat. These challenges are very real, and they require nonstop effort.
But this right here is the key takeaway. This quote from the official 2022 evaluation is just incredibly powerful. It says that despite all those challenges, not a single one of India's evaluated tiger reserves was rated as poorly managed. And in fact, the report highlights substantial improvement. What does that tell you? The system is working.
And that brings us to the future, which is really embodied in this one picture. Effective management protects these cubs. And this is where every single visitor plays a part. Responsible tourism, hiring local guides, respecting the rules, supporting the community, all of that contributes directly to the local economy and gives people a powerful reason to protect this amazing ecosystem.
So, as we end our own journey down the Jia Bhoreli, from a glacial lake all the way to this thriving forest, the final question isn't really about the park, it's about you. When you visit a place like this, you're not just an observer anymore. You become a participant in their story. So the question is, how will you choose to shape it?